it's a morning.
Yes, it is.
I didn't get very much sleep.
Me too.
Because I was up till midnight doing this room last night.
Yes, it's beautiful. We came in this morning to Wendy's new and improved studio / office.
Yeah.
And it is gorgeous. New desk, new chairs, new paint. Beautiful.
And the window is super cute. Are you going to put curtains on there? Right?
Yes, it's going to get curtains in.
We're doing some really interesting stuff here, guys.
Yeah.
No. All right. So first thing we did is go through the drive-through at 7 Brew. Not to triangulate our location, but I'm sure it's a chain.
Whatever. It's in Ankeny, this one. Don't tell anyone. They have a new location coming to Clive that they're hiring for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, when you get a large.
Yes, I did not know.
No,
I
no
asked
idea
for
that
larges,
yeah.
and they are gigantic.
It's like a large soda at Casey's or coming or whatever.
It's like
that's how big it is. We're gonna be a little bit fly-in before we leave this room.
Oh, definitely. I'll probably have the shake.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
So what did you get, Jody?
I got a cocoa butter chiller. It's a blended situation. Really good.
I got a blondie, which is a breve with caramel, iced.
Yes, we're all doing ice today. And I got a cinnamon roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's brown sugar, cinnamon, and milk.
Brown sugar with
something
it?
like that. Vanilla, probably. I don't know.
Is
It's delicious.
probably.
Sounds good. I'm not normally an iced coffee person, but I am very much enjoying this. Plus, I'm just 100% clammy all over.
Maybe expound on that a little bit there. So
What?
So there are some assumptions that
It's
happen. I don't know.
hot. It's hot. It's July, and it is Iowa.
It's
not
mostly-
to triangulate our location.
It's mostly her armpits, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, I completely had to change out of t-shirt because I can't have these armpits covered. It's
Can't cover those guns.
It creates havoc in the rest of my body. Eating it
It's a
up.
new one. It's a new one.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I've never heard of that. But,
Wow. Yeah, so this
Good
is
work.
Flickin' Beans.
Yeah.
And we are drinking coffee and we're going to talk about the 2 movies that we watched this week.
Oh, I got some stuff to say.
Yeah, and I guess the running theme is little people this week.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes, little people.
Sort of like, disabilities and
Yeah.
why they're not funny.
Yes, true. So true. So the first one that we watched was Freaks, and it's from 1932, so it's an oldie.
Yes.
But I was surprised like how it still kept my attention, because a lot of times when you watch those kind of movies, they're very slow moving. It is slow,
Right.
But
it's slow, but it's got fast parts because they did a lot of jumping around of and you're like, wait, how did that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, the whole thing in the woods. What was that for a second? They were in the woods.
They were in the woods.
They were in the woods. They were somewhere, and the guy was trying to chase them away with the 3 folks who had the microcephaly.
They were taking a walk in the.
Oh,
in
they
the
were
woods.
walking. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that part. And she said that they're like her children, but
Right.
they're
She was like their
Yes.
caretaker
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
The one,
They seem so sweet.
They were very sweet. One's a guy. His name
And
is
they're not
Schlitzie.
actors. They just pulled these folks out of wherever.
Like sideshows.
Right.
The Schlitzie was this famous sideshow circus person, a man.
Right.
But they all had dresses on, which I can appreciate that. Who cares? He was happy as a clam to have dress on. Who cares?
Oh my
They're
gosh,
easy
yeah.
to wear. I'm wearing a dress right now.
don't
Don't
know.
knock on dresses.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It makes more sense for guys to wear dresses than
For sure.
to wear pants because they've got dangly
Bits.
bits.
more room for freedom.
So if they have dresses on, they're not getting all bound up on stuff.
Oh my.
It's true.
I have opinions about things.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
speaking of that, so the movie is about a traveling circus, basically.
Pretty much.
And yeah, all these characters that we're talking about are they really have the disability or the abnormality, I guess, that they have in the movie. A lot of them.
Condition.
So, yeah, condition.
Right.
Yeah.
It
but,
was normal for a circus to have a sideshow.
Yeah.
You quote unquote freaks. Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
Go on.
But to the dress thing, there is a half man, half woman in one of the characters, and for whatever reason, everybody hates them, and like everybody calls them a freak, and it's like the worst thing you can be is unsure about your gender.
Yeah, but that person, that person was nicely snarky.
Yeah, true.
Yes, I mean was very refreshingly snarky.
Also, the half man, half woman cut down the middle of the whole person, which is not usually how it works nowadays.
Some of these freaks in the sideshows were obviously contrived because Hercules, the strong man, I mean, any old farmer would have done on that one, you know, and he wasn't probably really that strong.
He wasn't even ripped.
He was oddly shaped and paunchy, but anyway, doughy. But so it was interesting to see the mix of the quote-unquote normal people, normal-sized people, and then you had people with dwarfism or some other kind of condition that caused them to be small. You had people with birth defects. You had a guy with no legs, and he would run like crazy on his hands. Seemed like a nice fella.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think my favorite character was the man with no arms and no legs. Yeah. I don't know what that.
My brother was Is that what it is? My brother was referring to him as the caterpillar guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And couldn't remember his name. And I don't know if that's probably derogatory. But
I don't know.
I don't know if we ever knew his name.
I mean, he got around.
Yeah, he lit a cigarette.
Yeah,
and with a match.
Who can do
the guy
that?
next to him didn't even offer to help. I was like, listen here.
He's like, no, I got this.
But then at the end,
it was amazing.
Towards the end, he is crawling with a knife in his mouth.
Yes,
he's gonna do some damage.
He's still is getting in action.
Okay, so why that happens is is she the trapeze artist or the
Cleopatra?
Does she ride on the back of the horse?
Cleopatra is a trapeze artist.
And then
a guy rides on the back of the horse.
And then the little person is infatuated with her, and
two little people are engaged to each other. They're Germans. They are Hans.
Okay,
Hans and Frida. They're very and I hate to say this, and I'm a jerk for saying it, but they're super, super cute. They're like little babies.
They have like
dolls.
Yeah, they look like dolls. Well, speaking of that,
they made her up to look that way, really blonde and almost Hollywood bombshell.
It's funny that you say doll because speaking of my deep dive, so the little people couple in the movie are actually brother and sister.
Oh my!
Oh, that's right.
And they're actually from Germany. And
wow.
But they have 4 siblings in their family, and they all have this same condition of dwarfism.
Oh.
And they all look like little dolls because they're very like attractive.
Well, and they're proportional.
They're very proportional people, but they used to travel as the doll family.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
And their names in real life. Oh no, their names in the movie are Han and Frida. Their names in real life are. Oh, I didn't write it down. But anyway, if you look up the doll family, you'll see that they have lots of photos of them posed together with all 4 siblings. And then they got to play lovers. Their mother and sister. But I thought that when they first started, I was like, man, they look
engaged.
related.
Yeah.
They are. They're brother and sister.
That's funny. But so he falls in love with the normal-sized woman, even though he
she kind of pursues him a little bit.
But to use him.
Yeah.
Yes. And she makes fun of him at first.
Correct.
She makes fun of him at first. Did they actually what was going on?
They did get married.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
that wedding scene was tough.
That was very hard. And so they get married, and they're kind of living in his little. They have these cute little caravan trailer or wagon things
Stuff
that they
dreams.
all live in. Oh, I wanted every single one.
I wanted to be lounging in my feathery robe.
I could see that
in those carnival.
Yeah, in the caravan.
Yes, caravan.
So they get married. They live in there for about 5 seconds because this movie's only just over an hour long. So they're living in the tiny caravan, and she's poisoning him because he's sick. Didn't he get beaten up?
No,
something.
Well, I think she found out that he secretly is a millionaire.
Yeah,
right. No, they found out, but something happened that he put him in bed. Like
she poisoned him.
But there was something that started that, and then she was giving him medicine to make him better. She was putting stuff in the.
She poisoned him at the wedding.
Stuff in the wedding.
Right at the wedding.
Okay.
And then he got sick.
So
and
that's
then she
what
just
put him to bed.
Yeah,
Okay.
She was keeping him
and
sick.
then the little people, not the little people,
but
some of the freaks, quote unquote came, and his friends and came, and they decided that he figured it out and he wasn't swallowing the medicine anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what started the whole
They
human
came
torso
after
with a knife.
They came after her, as
Yep.
they should have.
And then Hercules, Hercules was with Venus, the lady with the seals, and then he leaves her for Cleopatra, the lady who's mean to the little people. And then he comes and he's trying to break in there to get the little people, and they attack the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And they unalive him, don't they?
They unalive
Right,
him, yes.
we have to assume that.
Yeah, they do, because...
But the good clown was also involved there too.
Can we talk about that final rainy, muddy scene?
That's what it was. Yeah.
Horrible. That
horses
stuck with me the first time I watched this movie, which is why I was like, you guys need to see this.
I own this movie somewhere.
Oh
Really?
my
There it is.
word.
It's like...
I think no.
I mean, that part is like troubling, because you're basically taking these people that the whole movie they're telling showing you like their personality, and you're getting to like them, and then they just dissolve that into they're terrifying monsters.
Oh, you're right. Well, I was just gonna say, at the heart of this movie, I think it's truly about friendship and sticking together.
Yeah.
Well, you say they're monsters, but see, at the end of the movie, I felt really good about it.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
you guys go and you guys kick some butt.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I
Sure.
see
I
that.
didn't-
I
I didn't
see
feel like
those
they were
two
monsters.
sides. I see what
I think
you're
it's
saying.
just the actual scene where they're like
Right.
going through the mud and
very
going after him.
dramatic.
It seems like it's meant to scare you.
Yeah, and it
that's
does.
true.
And
the way
it
they
does.
shoot it, it's very
Yeah.
fast. Like, it's on this guy for a couple seconds, and then
Yeah.
another guy, and another guy, and yeah.
You
But
can do
they're-
anything if you put your mind to
Right.
it.
That is a good takeaway from the movie as a
Yeah,
whole. And
for
I think
sure.
I think probably in there, I mean, I'm just guessing what they were thinking when they made the movie, but
crazy.
I think that they
Todd.
were trying to like have that message of like, just because they're different, they're still valuable human beings. And they definitely, I think in other era movies, or a lot of other movies where they would be in, they would just be a character on the side. They wouldn't have any depth to their character.
They'd still be a sideshow freak.
Yeah, they wouldn't
Right.
be humanized. And this movie was trying to humanize them, and I think they are. I just think they made some mistakes along the way.
Oh, well, sure. I mean, and it was 1932. I mean,
Right.
gee whiz.
There- yeah.
You can make a case for a bunch of mistakes in Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
And The Beloved, but
This movie could not have been made today
Not
in
the same
any
way.
way. However, today movies are made that are more making fun of, or like you say, in the background. So I don't know. It's just a curiosity, and I would love to be a fly on the wall in 1932. Just
Well,
to
and on
see
one hand-
how people received it and
on
what.
one hand, this director gave them kind of a normal job for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were respectful to each other, at least on screen. And I don't know. Well, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't quote unquote freaks against normal people until the end, but it was only against two normal people.
And the
who were
normal people
shits.
were minorities in that setting.
Yeah.
There were more quote freaks than normal.
The interaction. What was his name? Bozo.
Brozo the clown.
Frozo.
Bro.
Interaction
Bro,
between him,
come at me, bro.
between him and Schlitzie, the one with microcephaly.
Yeah.
All three of them, and he calls them all girls. And he's gonna buy him a hat, and he's gonna have the
Yes,
biggest
we were
feather.
supposed to come over here with the hat with the feather.
Yes,
I totally
but
forgot
that's
about
okay.
that.
Yes.
But the interaction was so respectful.
Yeah,
and
that
it was
was- that
hilarious.
was
and
really sweet.
He knew how to talk to them at the level that they needed to be spoken to, and instead of he went into their world for a second and had a really good interaction. I was so surprised to see that.
That was nice.
And I think too, and maybe you do. I don't want to speak for you, Bridget, but I worked 30 years in human services. I worked with the freaks, and
yeah. Same.
So I have a little bit of a different perspective. I think I wanted certain things out of the movie and I got them. I got them because they were spoken to the same way as anyone else would have been spoken to, except for the one guy who tried to chase them out when they were on a walk. But
Didn't when we worked there, people when they found out that's what we did, they would say, "Oh, you must have so much patience."
Oh, it takes a special person to work with
And
this.
I
I'm
say
just like,
no.
it doesn't.
I treat them just like they're my friends, and I tell them, knock it off.
Well, and the thing is too, I would say it doesn't take a special person, but they make you a special person,
Right.
but not in that way. You know, it's not like
You
suddenly
laugh.
I have patience. It was like, you know, waiting for somebody to get their laundry done on their own, and you're like, this is excruciating, but
Yeah.
they're so proud of what they're doing, and it's a good thing. And so, but yeah, I don't know, I enjoyed the movie in a weird way, but
Yeah.
I did too.
you know,
Yeah,
you,
it's
you
a
take
good
it,
movie.
You take
Yeah.
you take it as it is. You take it with the context that it's made in, and there are a lot of risque parts that I was kind of surprised at, and
Yeah, they're all kind of like screwing each other
yeah.
because they don't know, they're all traveling together and they don't get interaction with other people very much other than the audiences probably. So it's just like, you know,
MTV's Real World.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and there's
they're all
a-
just hooking up.
Yeah.
and there's a scene where the good clown. There's a weird clown, but
There's a stuttering clown.
a stuttering clown who's married, who ends up marrying a Siamese twin.
Oh my god.
And then the other Siamese
Conjoined twin.
Conjoined twin, sorry. Another conjoined, her sister, who's attached.
Yeah.
That's also bad.
They're also very famous.
Yes.
Their real names are their name, Daisy and Violet. That's their real names.
Right.
yes.
They were very famous for years.
And then the other one gets in. Everything went so fast. Suddenly,
did, yeah.
Hello, nice to meet you. We're engaged.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you know.
And then and they're like, come visit us sometime in our house, and
Yeah.
like they okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 'cause
Yeah,
it's the same house.
The stuttering clown made the most terrible but amazing trans person joke, I guess. Because
Let's hear it.
So he has a stutter, right? So he's always like, "Bloop, bloop, bloop," you know, and he was like the man, half woman person was walking by it, and he goes, he, she, he, she, he, she. And it was like, woo, that's a she.
It took me way too long to figure out which side was male and which side was female because it was sort of like a little short skirt on either side, but the one on the male had like a cheetah Tarzan suit on.
Yeah, the outfit choice for that was bizarre because I did not feel like the man side was very masculine.
No.
It wasn't very much of a contrast to the feminine side.
Right.
Well, would you have like a one pant leg and the other side a skirt? I could probably sew that.
Yeah, I've seen
could
that
probably
in
sew that.
other
Well,
inappropriate shows.
So yeah, the thing about this movie and all these old movies is that they don't have any special effects, but they're really well made.
Yeah.
And black and white movies back then, particularly, you would think like that they're not visually appealing, but they really are
This
in
was
that
for
way.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was Freaks.
That was Freaks.
I
and,
love the when they were traveling and they were going between all the different trailers as they were traveling. So they were moving, then they zoom out, and then it would show the same scene of the caravan going through this muddy part over and over again every time they would.
Those
change
effects are
the
not very
caravan.
special.
Yeah.
Well, in Citizen Kane, there's a backdrop of pterodactyls because they ran out of money. At
That's
Xanadu,
hilarious.
they used stock footage from I don't know what movie, but
Nice.
at Xanadu there's pterodactyls.
Oh man, I
instead
haven't
of
seen it
birds.
since I was like
So
college.
that happens, and what I didn't like about
Xanadu.
yes, let's connect those two.
We should do that movie. I've never seen it.
With that part, I didn't like when the horse fell in the muddy trench every time. I was like, stop it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, the animal
could have
cruelty
done-
is a topic on its own for this because they keep a seal in just a little tub.
Yeah,
Yep,
and you
yep.
hear this big splash.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, so
segue.
Any final closing
Right, a
remarks?
segue.
Good. Move on to the next movie, which was Tiptoes.
Oh my God.
2004, is that right? Ish.
3 or 4. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
early aughts.
Early odds.
Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey is
He
the main
is
character.
not that good looking. I decided during this movie.
Really, I wrote down
I don't
these
know why.
two are too beautiful to look at. They're hard to look at. Matthew McConaughey and his
Kate
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale.
Why was her acting so terrible?
Didn't you write Kate Beckinsale equals Molly Ringwald?
Yeah.
Did you mean that because of the acting?
I meant pretty, and it was her mannerisms and the way she talked. That's why.
I liked her. I thought she seemed like just a nice person with no outstanding, personality characteristics, but very, very lovely to look at.
Yes.
And
just. I liked her hair.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yes. Can we talk about the hair?
Yes.
Would you call that ombre? But it was red on the bottom.
Yeah, I think she was wearing a hairpiece.
Sure, nothing wrong with a hairpiece. I love a good hairpiece.
She had so much hair up here. I don't think she had that much hair on her head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more like red highlight. But
and it's a really cool red too. Mm-hmm. It had almost a little bit of fuchsia, but it was really nice.
It was very
cool
pretty.
Hair.
And
look at it just for the hair.
She had like space buns, but they were like
yes, those space buns.
Once she got all gussied up at the party.
At the party.
I liked the message of the movie. It was done horribly.
Yes, agreed.
It was done horribly.
It's called one of the worst movies.
Not even considering what we're going to talk about with how they dealt with little people in this movie, but specifically one little person in this movie. Aside from that, and half of the movie was like, what does this even have to do with the movie? Why is this here? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the message was sound, but it was there was so much left out and so much just glossed over, and it was I was surprised at the big names that were in this.
Yes. I know, all-star cast. I mean, Patricia Arquette, not
Gary
to mention,
Oldman.
Gary Oldman, Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. Let's just
let's talk. Well, for some context to the film,
yes, in the context,
Matthew McConaughey is the only average-sized person in his family. Everybody else has dwarfism, and for whatever reason, they cast the entire movie in little people actors, except for the main character, which is Gary Oldman walking around on his knees.
Can I just say though that I did read that Peter Dinklage initially had a problem with that because who wouldn't?
Yeah.
When they could have cast a good actor. They could have cast
Peter Dinklage as that. He's at least closer to Matthew McConaughey's
They would have had
age.
to change his hair color. Anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. Gary Oldman did kind of resemble Matthew McConaughey. I could see that as being his twin brother.
Except that he's old enough to be his dad.
But the thing about Gary Oldman is he's a master of disguise in movies. Hannibal,
his accent was perfect.
He was unrecognizable in Hannibal. What's another? He's in
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. And that is a crazy ass part. And I don't recognize him in that either. So he's accustomed to completely changing his appearance for a movie. Mm-hmm. Now, the problematic part.
Yes. Is that in the trailer for the movie, they call Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime just because he's playing a little person. It's he did a good job, but I just think, why did they make that choice? When they're trying to, make the message that they're trying to make.
Well, and he was a very misshapen little person.
Yeah.
He had
they gave
issues.
him a hump.
He had issues. He had a hump. His waist and butt was really big. His legs were really oddly big. And at times, his legs didn't have a bend.
Yeah,
because
he was walking on his knees.
But then every once in a while they did have a bend, and I think when they did have a bend, they were stopped.
Yeah,
because he was sitting on a.
Oh yeah. He
was sitting on a couch, and they
legs
were.
He there was a hole in the chair, and his legs were down there, and then they had
were
fake
very
legs,
unrealistic fake legs.
Oh, they were the worst.
They gave him a cane as a prop because he was walking on his knees to kind of make his gait really off, right? And they used a lot of elements in the scene, like when he would a bed would be kind of disguising that lower half,
right?
So you would have kind of like when they do sitcoms and somebody's pregnant and they always are carrying a bag of groceries, to disguise it or whatever.
In a lot of the scenes, it was higher up than waist up. They didn't film it waist up. It was like belly button up or something.
They probably, I would think, had some kind of double.
Oh, he definitely did. Because in the first scene, when they're peeing on the side of the road, then they walk back to the motorcycles, and it's
Motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yes, that was
And-
Little
amazing.
trike thing.
yeah, and that was definitely a body double, and I was like, that's so offensive.
Listen, my
Why not
very
just hire that guy?
first.
Can he not
I know,
act?
right?
I guess maybe I don't know.
My very first note says Peter Dinklage is hot, swagger for days.
Yeah.
He is, but
He
I
is.
didn't like his French accent.
French. Why was
Oh.
he
I
French?
mean, it was okay.
I'm not
That's what. Why was he even in the movie?
Yeah, how
Why
does he
was
know
he?
these people?
That's not. There
Was
was,
he just
never address
Was
it.
he just friends with?
He was friends with Rolf.
That's
but,
it.
But
So they're
what
friends.
he added nothing to the movie.
Right.
Zero.
Right, because in the
They didn't develop the characters.
no,
enough.
and Rolf ended up being on a totally different story arc.
Yeah,
from
he was
from
cool.
Dinklage. Patricia Arquette was.
Stupid.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
those.
they were just like supposed to be comic relief.
Yeah,
maybe,
well,
but-
Probably.
I mean, but they
and then,
weren't
and then
that
she
funny.
had cornrows, and then she was dating Peter Dinklage and gave him cornrows, and that's where I got offended.
Yes,
For
well,
some reason, I was like,
you know
"That's
what, though?
appropriation."
Let me tell you about those cornrows. I was looking at them and I was like, that is not how cornrows look, especially right there at the top of the scalp. It reminded me of the wig that they put on Joe Dirt after.
Yeah. Well, those were the reggae wig.
Yeah, that's not right.
Oh,
And the
God.
beads, Bo Derek
beads.
style.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yes, definitely.
So Patricia Arquette's character leaves a little to be desired as well, but she ends up being smarter than I would have liked to admit too, because she does take care of
Yeah.
Peter in her way.
Well, she seems to
Maurice.
genuinely like him.
Uh-huh.
Good for her.
Yeah,
She
her
like
outfits were just
she
they killed
drinks
me.
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
her,
mean-
one of her first lines in the movie is, "I like to drink."
Yeah. And then he's like
he
giving
gives
her
her morphine cough syrup
morphine
and whiskey.
syrup and cognac. I
Yeah.
wrote that in my notes. Oh my god.
It's imported from France.
Oh my god.
Morphine cough syrup.
The morphine cops are.
Ugh.
And then he's got all these health problems he's got all these health problems. That maybe was why he was in the movie.
Yeah.
To lead up to our concerns that come later.
Right, right. So yeah, the gist of it is what McConaughey gets Kate Beckinsale pregnant, and she's not aware.
She doesn't know that he comes from a family of little people.
Right, until Gary Oldman comes to visit.
Because he's been beaten up and he has nowhere else to go.
Right,
And
and
he comes to visit, and Matthew's away.
takes her to his parents' house. So she meets the parents of her
Right.
boyfriend, fiance, baby daddy without even him being there and without even him knowing. I think that's
Because
wild.
he
Well,
was
it's wild
an
that you would ask
instructor.
someone to marry you that's never even met your parents.
Correct.
That you would say yes to someone that asked you to marry you.
See, these details. There were so many little details
Yeah.
like that would have been so easy to have thrown in. It was like they did this and didn't do any editing. Or, I
Yeah.
don't know. But so the reason Matthew McConaughey's character is not there is that he is a fireman instructor he teaches people how to be firemen, and he has to go away to do that for some reason. We don't know why that's either. But and she's an artist. And
Aren't they
whatever.
all? Aren't
And
they
her-
all?
His parents
You make any
are
money
the
off that?
absolute
No.
best. The absolute best. His parents are wonderful.
Oh, and Kate
he's great
Beckinsale
with them.
is loving his
Yes.
family and doesn't seem to phase her. Well, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That they're
She's
little
At
fine with
people.
first, she's completely just doesn't know what to say.
Shocked a
like
little
you
bit,
would.
but
Like
yeah.
I
and
think
so
she's
she
just
drives.
upset that he didn't say anything.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah. Right.
absolutely.
Well,
and
and also
she
just-
drives to his work and is like, "Listen, I've met your brother," and he's like, "Oh crap."
Fuck.
And
Yeah.
then he goes completely sort of
Batshit
off
crazy.
the rails a little bit because now she knows, and then she
Well,
might be pregnant at that point, and
and
she is pregnant.
Isn't the whole struggle kind of with Matthew McConaughey himself and not like he loves his family and but he doesn't want to pass on that gene.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't want that because there's so many health issues.
Yep. And
His
it wasn't
brother was
even-
in tremendous pain their whole
Right.
childhood.
It wasn't even a question of they'll get made fun of. That didn't even come up. I'm afraid that if we have a dwarf child, it'll be made fun of. No, it was that watching the brother be in pain for so
Right.
long. But don't the parents have to have? Don't they both have to have some sort of a gene?
Too much, Jody.
Sorry.
We never get into that, but I think you can be a carrier of the gene without being dwarf yourself, right?
Yes, you can do that, but don't both parents have to have some sort of a
like she would have to carry it too?
Correct.
I guess I don't know.
Listen, it's a movie.
Yeah,
I know.
It's a movie.
I know. I'm just.
I once
details, kids.
watched a movie, and I love this movie, but they were talking about a set of conjoined twins, and one was male and one was female, and I'm like, that is not fucking how it works.
No, that's not.
That's
possible.
you can't.
That is bizarre.
You can't have identical, different sex, let alone conjoined. Anyway, go on. You know, yeah, they're not midgets, Carol. They're dwarves.
Oh yeah, Carol's the artist,
Kate
the
Beckinsale
mother.
is Caitlyn's
Kept calling them midgets, and finally, as she got to know the family, she then starts calling them dwarves or people with dwarfism or whatever.
Okay, oh my god, in my notes right there, meeting family without the boyfriend. Wow. Shit, is she gonna get together with Gary Oldman instead of McConaughey?
Let's not say anything about that yet.
What? We don't care. See the movie or don't see the movie. We're not critic or
Yeah, we're spoiling.
We're
all over the
spoiler alerts, man.
Yeah, so
I
the
don't
first-
mind spoiler alerts because it's always different anyway.
Yeah,
There's
true.
no way you can explain a movie well enough for.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's a point. Okay, so Matthew McConaughey and Kate Beckinsale do end up getting married, and they're in the car leaving the ceremony, and she goes, "Wait!" She gets out of the car. She runs over to Gary
I was
Oldman,
impressed by the running.
and then
I know
she kisses him on the mouth, but
Yes.
not in a sexual
On the
way.
corner of the mouth.
No, it was on the lips.
He
Was
was
it? I thought
so
it was, like, right
sweet
there.
to her.
And I was like, "Ugh, who would kiss their brother-in-law like that?" It's like, on the cheek.
Oh, that is
a
kind
little
of
peck on the cheek or whatever. It was gross, but then you find out, oh no,
Right.
is she gonna get with him?
Yeah.
I mean, would you kiss your brother-in-law?
I guess I never thought of
people
like,
do
oh,
that.
I thought, when I'm
I think
watching
people
that.
do that when they leave their husband for
Well,
the
yeah.
husband's brother, but
Right.
not at their wedding.
I didn't realize that was going to be the ending. I just thought, God, that's really bizarre. But they were foreshadowing.
And then
That's what I'm saying.
she goes ahead and like whips out her boob and breastfeeds right there in front of Gary Oldman and Dinklage.
Yes.
Oh, and
And they're
Dinklage
like,
is all about it.
Woo!
Oh yeah, Dinklage
Look
goes,
away! Look away!
Does the baby get drunk when you drink? And she's like, I'm not drunk. Oh, maybe a little.
Maybe a
While
little.
she's literally
Yeah.
breastfeeding the baby.
Right.
Well, it takes a while for that to,
Yeah, I know. But that
That's
just made
funny.
me laugh. She's like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But so she has the baby, and Stephen, Matthew McConaughey's character, is there for that, obviously. And the doctor is also a dwarf.
Which is
Which
what is this? Tiny town?
What kind of thing is that?
Well, the family said that they have recommendations for doctors. So
Sure,
I
sure.
assumed that
Because
was
they
probably
know.
a
That was
family
why.
referral, yeah.
And of course, the baby does have that gene.
I liked how
so-
the baby was fake. There was like
Oh, it's so
nothing.
fake.
Oh,
in the
right.
blanket.
No,
They were like carrying
yeah.
a blanket around, nothing in it.
Yeah,
But then
it was
when
a
they
log.
did have a real baby, it was super cute, but it would only look to its right.
Well,
It would only look.
listen,
yeah, it was weird.
it's
I think it
just
was
a
just
beginner
a-
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it was something where I think it was the same clip every time
Yeah,
the
it
baby
could
was
be.
shown.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, so they kind of jump. They make you make up part of the movie because then suddenly they're fighting and she leaves, and I thought it was her place the whole time. But anyway,
it's just a gloss over
she
there,
leaves,
and a
goes
lot
to-
of it.
goes to this cabin where Gary and
That's where
Peter,
she whips out her boob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she whips her outside on the porch, and Peter
Seems
Dinklage
nice.
and Patricia
Yeah.
Arquette are there, or they're living there, and so the whole thing too is that Rolf, the brother, is a writer, so he's there to write.
They're always writers. They're always artists. They always have the coolest jobs.
He writes for
People
like
in
he was having trouble
movies.
though.
Yeah.
He was having trouble
Yeah.
getting, he wrote like news articles.
Yeah,
and
he was like a
stuff.
journalist.
He was
kind
having
of.
a hard time getting them published or
Yeah.
picked up.
Mhm.
So they're there for a while. Stephen McConaughey comes over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's talking. He's like, I'm really trying and I really love our baby and da-da-da-da, so you have hope. And then at the end, Rolf is sitting around the campfire thing and she comes down. Or no, the baby's, was it when the baby's crying and he comes
Well,
and gets
that's
the baby?
before Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
shows up.
Oh, okay.
So the baby's
Thank you.
crying, and Gary Oldman then gets up in the middle of the night and takes the baby, and then Kate comes out and she's like, oh, they're so sweet, he loves the baby, and then in her mind she's like, my husband doesn't love the baby,
right?
And then
that was a lovely moment.
Yeah.
He tells her to go back to bed, and it's very lovely. And then you sort of understand how, you know, how she could feel connected and some feelings for him.
Yeah.
Right, because
He's been so sweet.
Yeah, and he lost his virginity 2 years before his twin brothers.
Yeah, badass.
With a well, she's not a porn star in the movie, but that character that plays his girlfriend Sally, or the actress that plays Sally, is actually a porn star.
Well, she acts like one in the movie.
Yeah.
She
stabbed her
reminds me
boyfriend
a
in real life.
lot of the little of what is it, Hans and Frida. She reminds me of Frida.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
can see that.
sort of blonde bombshell kind of little person.
Yeah.
I like the blonde bombshell who had like the Heather Locklear hair or whatever.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
she started dating the uncle or whatever.
Kitty.
Love it.
Kitty cat.
And I loved the daughters. They were like teenagers that were surly, and I loved it.
So yeah, I mean, the movie did give a lot of parts to underused actors.
Oh yeah.
So you've got that different from, let's say, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You know,
they were
and
real
they
people.
they had real parts. They were real, a real family, and that, you know,
They had a real party that was raunchy.
Yeah.
They had it was like totally. There was a lot of money.
Yeah.
There was a lot of money. This party was in a mansion and whatever. But
Here's what I wanted to see is a little step stool in front of that grill, because his face was too close to the flames. this guy, he just needed to get up a little higher there.
I was getting my
worried for
nails done on
safety.
Friday.
Yeah, it was.
I was getting my nails done on Friday, and a little person walked in, and she carried her own step stool, and she went and stuck it in front of the wall of nail polish, and got her nail polish.
Honestly, I think
That's brilliant.
She had a gorgeous
a lot
dress
of people
on.
would have they would have tools like that.
Yeah,
If
right.
You if you need a cane, you use it.
Right,
Wheelchair,
right.
whatever. So I bet that's uncommon. So that should have been depicted in the film.
Yeah,
Probably
kind
at
of
some
like how
point.
they would manage you know.
Adaptive devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a normal sized house. You want to see it modified for their
Yeah.
particular needs.
Right.
That
you
would
want to
be
see maybe a girl that was lower.
correct. That would be the expected thing. You know,
Right.
if you visited a friend that was a dwarf, you would probably see modifications.
Why didn't they call us when they were making this film?
I don't know.
Rude.
It's not like they had a whole cast full of people to point
Right.
it out.
Who wants to give away the actual ending? Somebody?
Didn't we
I mean,
already?
No.
Well, not exactly. So, we got back to Gary Oldman and Kate are living together. Matthew McConaughey shows up. They have a conversation, and basically Kate is like, "You don't love our baby in the way that I need you to. Then we can't live together. We cannot get back together."
Yeah.
And then he leaves. Gary Oldman walks up and grabs Kate's hand. You're still not sure, like, oh, are they gonna hook up? This is weird.
Yeah, or is this
That's
just
your
a
brother-in-law?
friend holding
Yeah.
a hand?
Because it's been just
Solidarity.
friendship, but
Yeah.
then they can't sleep. They go out to they go out. They're in the country at this cabin, and they go out and make a fire and are watching the stars together. And then Kate goes, "You can kiss me if you want."
And he does, and that's the end.
Yeah, and that's the end. So yeah, I don't know why that bothers me so much. Maybe just because I think about like my brother-in-law. It's like weird.
Well, I mean,
and it's
but really, like that.
very fast. Everything's
That's
very
happened
fast.
a lot in movies.
That's
That happens
true.
a lot. That whole brother-in-law.
It's a hook.
Yeah, but let me think. Who is my brother-in-law?
Mine's Rhett.
Oh, yeah. Ew. No, I wouldn't. No.
Mine's Rhett.
Yeah, I would. Rhett.
Yeah,
Ah. He has a lotion holster.
he does. I don't know if he still does. He's been out of massaging for like 5 years.
Teased him about that for years.
Yeah, me too. I need to get back on
Come
that
at me
wavelength.
with your lotion holster.
He did massage there. That's why. He's not just a weirdo
He
walking
just doesn't
around
walk
IV.
around. He's just maybe
Yeah,
he's
he
just very
does.
dry.
Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah,
very
really.
dry. I need a lotion holster.
He goes up to people and he's like, "Listen."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I have 3 brother-in-laws, and it's just weird.
Yeah,
It'd be hard to pick one.
I know
I
how.
didn't
how
even
can
think
I
about it like that. I just thought of him as another character, but you're right. Andy's a twin.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're built the same.
Oh, the parts are the same size as the.
Well, I know that for a fact because I have perused a fine art book.
Uh-huh.
And there was, which I'm never gonna forget, a picture of a nude little person, and ooh.
Are you gonna be all right?
I mean, it was something to behold
And held.
and held. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
I was impressed. Even in a normal-sized person, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Talk about woo. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
oh, I have a surprise.
okay.
We're done with this, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we can
I have a surprise.
Flick
I
them
have
off?
a jar of topics that we're gonna draw from for next week.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Who wants
Where'd
to
that
draw?
come from?
I made it.
No, I mean, was it in your backpack?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't quite get my hand in.
All right. Wendy is drawing.
Musicals suggestions: Crybaby and A Little Shop of Horrors.
Hey.
What's
Next week.
oh,
Your
I
turn
gotcha.
next week.
I gotcha.
Crybaby?
Crybaby
Crybaby.
stars Johnny Depp. He only sheds
And he has a
one tear.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, you're gonna
Oh,
love
and
it.
it's got Divine in it, doesn't it? No, it's that other lady, Hatchet Face. Who is she?
I don't know.
She's called Hatchet Face in the movie, I think.
It
isn't
has
she?
been a very long time since I've seen that, and I think I'm excited.
Very weird.
Musicals week
Very
next
weird.
week, and this has been episode 3.
Episode 3.
Flickin' beans.
Licking the beans.
Do your tagline.
Let's flick some beans.
Oh yeah. No wait. Yeah. What did we do last time?
We didn't
Love
flick
you
any
guys.
beans.
Did we say flickin' beans too? And then you
I
said
don't know.
what we like?
Shout out to Seven. What is it? Seven Brew.
Seven Brew.
Shout out to
This
Seven
is
Brew.
this is not an ad, but we're open to it.
But we will shout at
Yes. Please sponsor us.
you. I'm 3/4 the way through the large coffee, so
Hey, we're all at the same level. I think
yeah, that's about right.
Is that, what do you call it? Kismet? I don't know what that means. I'll have to look it
It's
up.
a coinky dink. No, I don't know what it is. Karma? No, not karma.
No, I know what it is. Great minds drink alike. And this has been
Flicking beans.
Flickin' beans.
I love you. Bye.
Love you, miss you, bye.
Bye.